Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today we are getting into yet another thriller and a little bit of horror reading vlog. Today's theme though, this is not just like any other typical thriller reading vlog, is to celebrate Black History Month. I am reading from all Black authors in this video. Y'all know, or you probably know if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, I have been working on diversifying my shelves and my reading over the past few years, and I've been absolutely loving it. So I really encourage you to do that all year long, but of course during Black History Month it's just like an extra little celebratory reason to do that. So here is my TBR for this video. I have Perfect Little Lives by Amber and Danielle Brown. This author duo wrote one of my best books of last year, which was Someone Had to Do It. They write really scandalous domestic thrillers with great suspense, and I'm already a bit into this one. I have an update for it. Then I'll be moving on to a YA horror called You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Bayron. And this is supposed to be really fast-paced, really fun. I'm hoping this is one that I can recommend for like upcoming Halloween reads. Yes, I'm already thinking about Halloween. It is not even spring yet, just let me live. And I'm also going to be reading Jackal by Erin E. Adams. This is a thriller that I've heard amazing things about lately. Just like a standard missing person type of thriller. But obviously, as I said, I started out with Perfect Little Lives. I am already halfway through. My biggest like consistency that I see between Someone Had to Do It and this book is that these little tiny thrillers are just compulsively readable. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the writing style, the font size, the size of the books. Like they're just so little and so not fluffy, but just like they just feel like compulsively readable. Like I want to get through them. And this one is about a girl who realizes that she has some shared past trauma with this person from her past, her like best friend growing up. She finds out that his dad and her mother were having an affair, and her mother was murdered, so that might have played into the murder trial. Because right now her dad was convicted and is still just like in jail for this murder, but she's suspecting now that she finds out about this shared history that it could have been his dad. So she's kind of like going undercover, being like, oh my god, yeah, like, hey, bestie. Really, she's trying to gain all of these little clues and figure out what happened to her mom and if his dad was possibly involved. And really, if his family was possibly involved. And honestly, we haven't found out much at this point in time. Honestly, this book has kind of been a roller coaster. I've gone back and forth with like not really getting much out of it being a little bit boring to being really, really interesting, and I can't put it down. And because those feelings kind of oscillate, it's not been like slumpy or slow, but it's definitely not as like pulling me in and unputdownable as Someone Had to Do It. I guess it's just like easy to be kind of taken out of the story really quickly because I don't care too much about the characters, which is not usually a big deal for me in domestic thrillers. Like usually I'm just here for the drama of it all, but I actually would like to be more invested in these characters because of the conversations that are going on. I think they're really valuable. I love the commentary on race. Like this main character grew up as like the only Black girl in her neighborhood. She obviously felt that, and she felt other people's reactions to that. The white people are just like not really naming it and holding a space for it. It's kind of just like a unspoken thing, and like they'll be like, oh, as an African American, and she's sitting there like, y'all can just call me Black. Like, I know that's what y'all say when I'm not in the room, so why would you change it while I'm sitting in front of you? Like, those kind of thoughts. And the commentary there is really great. There's also really great feminist commentary in here as well. You know, information about relationships and just like reflecting about different types of relationships and how they're affected by your family of origin. So there's like good conversations going on in here, but the like character relationship, like I just just don't feel like I know her as well as I knew the two characters in Someone Had to Do It. So I don't know. I'm like kind of sitting on the fence with it. It's more plot driven, which is not always my favorite, but I'm not having a bad time. Especially like getting 50% of the way through yesterday. I feel like that was pretty quick, so pretty okay. I have to go to work and do some sessions in the park, so I'm about to head out. I'm also doing laundry, so if you've been hearing that noise in the back, it is my washing machine. Apologies for that, but yeah, I'm gonna go to work and hopefully get into this a little bit later tonight. I believe I have the audiobook. I think I have the audiobook from Libro. So I'm gonna cook like a really fun dinner tonight, and it's kind of labor intensive. I'm gonna make risotto, which I love making risotto. It's just like such a calm, like meditative process for me, because you know you have to be like constantly stirring it. So I'm gonna see if I can put in the audio while I'm making my risotto tonight and get a little bit more into it.
Drop something.
I'm gonna kill you in your sleep tonight.
You have to keep this in. You can't cut this out.
Hello vlog. I am about 3/4 of the way through Perfect Little Lives. Honestly, she's kind of giving me nothing. It's drama, and I know that it's dramatic as I'm reading it, but it all feels like kind of straightforward, kind of predictable. Nothing like too crazy and scandalous. I don't know. I've read better domestic suspense books, but it's not bad per se. Like, it's fine. It's fine to pass the time. It feels like a mindless thriller. Hopefully things start to pop off at the end. I will let you know if they do. Hello vlog. It is the next morning and a lot has transpired. Some fucking idiot tried to steal my car. What the fuck? That is so stupid. First of all, if you're gonna steal a car, like, do it right and actually hotwire it, because it's really embarrassing when you like try to hotwire a car and you fail and then you just leave thousands of dollars of damages on somebody's car. Mine. So that fucking sucks, and I've been dealing with that from last night to this morning. Police reports, insurance, AAA, blah blah blah. My car is undrivable. It's really fun. We're having a really good time. I'm not having a breakdown. So that's my little life update, but I also have a book update. I finished Perfect Little Lives by Amber and Danielle Brown. Honestly, when all this was going down, I just wanted something like mindless drama, thriller, whatever, to get my mind off of what was happening in my real life. This just was not a great escape for that. I ended up giving it a 2.5 out of 5 stars, just right down the middle, because there were so many things that I didn't like about it, but at the same time I did like a lot of pieces of it. So I guess I'll just like run you through the pros and cons. A couple of the things that I did like was the pacing. I thought it had a pretty good pace. It was easy to get through, very easy to read. I love Amber and Danielle's writing style. I just think it flows, and I find that a lot of author duos that I read from have really good flow. I guess just like marrying the styles of two different people, it just works like that. I don't know. I love their writing style. I also loved the commentary pieces. It was making me think a little bit harder about our characters' experience. All of the conversations about feminism and racism and classism that were brought up in this book were really worthwhile, and I love when a thriller has something to say on top of just, you know, being a fun little time. And I love the romantic elements in here. If you are not someone who likes romance in your thrillers, do not read from Amber and Danielle Brown, because they have a lot of romance in both of their books. Someone Had to Do It, absolutely loved, and I did like the inclusion of the romance in here, although I will say it wasn't as like hot as the first book. The smut scenes in here for me were a little like cringy because I didn't like the guys that our main character was going for. I felt like she really deserved a lot more than them, so it wasn't like, ooh, fun, sexy time. It was just kind of like, girl, stand up. What are we doing? So I don't know. I guess that's like a pro and a con. But a lot of the things that I didn't like was the resolution at the end of the book felt very, very unsatisfying. I predicted a part of it, but even then, like, I wanted that feeling of like justice being served, you know? This innocent black man is in jail. He needs to get out and the perpetrator needs to be punished. And that happened in a way, I guess. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but it just wasn't satisfying enough for me. I don't know if they were trying to portray like the harsh reality of what can happen to black people in the prison system and how like the whole system is stacked against them, etc., etc. Either way, like even if that's what they were trying to say, it didn't make for an interesting, exciting, satisfying plot to a thriller. Also, there were just like a couple weird things in here that I didn't like. The more that I thought about the relationships, like I kind of alluded to earlier, I just felt like our main character was having a lot of relationships that weren't reciprocal or weren't healthy in some way. And it wasn't a piece of commentary in the book. It was just kind of like, that's the way it is. And I probably could have overlooked that if the plot was just really exciting, really shocking, really good, but that didn't unfortunately kick in either. So, man, 2.5 out of 5 stars. It was fine. If you're looking for a fine little romantic thriller, this will do it, but not a fave. Next up, I am moving on to Jackal by Aaron E. Adams because I really want a thriller. Like, I want a thriller to work. I want a 5-star thriller. Please, God, I'm gonna pray right now. Make this a 5-star thriller, God. Please, bitch, listen. I want a 5-star. I haven't read a 5-star book in so long. Please be it. Will you be it for me? Here's the thing. If this isn't 5 stars, God isn't real. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, this is a missing girl thriller about a black woman who returns to her hometown to attend this wedding. And every year, young black girls are going missing, but no one seems to care about it until our main character gets involved with this most recent disappearance and starts to unlock the pattern and dig into stuff about it. So I guess I will get into it and I will let you know what I'm thinking. Hello vlog, it is the next morning. I feel like I've not been doing that many updates, but it's because I just have a lot going on right now. So apologies for the sparse vlog, but I am now about 25% of the way through Jackal. I think it's like 75 pages in, yeah, 78 pages in, and I'm really liking this book. It is very visual. The imagery is really strong. It's very atmospheric. Like you could feel the atmosphere of the wedding, and then when the little girl went missing, like just the idea of the forest and the denseness and the weather and the chill in my bones. Like it was just so well written, especially that scene, and the descriptions are really great. I also immediately feel like I have a sense of our main character. We get little pieces of her past just kind of like interwoven into the story in this way where I really feel like I know her and I'm getting to understand her experience. She feels very isolated and very misunderstood, and I feel like that's just kind of easy to join with. Like I feel like we've all had moments of feeling isolated and misunderstood, so there's like a point of connection with her. She's really easy to empathize with, and coming off of just like a very plot centered domestic thriller. It's so refreshing for character driven readers like myself to have just that strong connection. So I'm really liking it so far. It is much more immersive and connecting than Perfect Little Lives, the last book that I read. So yeah, it's going well. And I got the audiobook from Libro, so that was great. I'm actually about to pop it in so I can go to the gym and keep listening to the story. I will let you know when I'm back what I'm thinking. On my way back from the gym, I got a notification that I had a package, and look what this is. Oh my gosh, the little felt heart is so cute. I'm so excited to get into this. These are some wax melts from Burn While Reading. So I didn't have anything to use wax melts. I've actually never used them before. So she sent this little melty thingy. I will definitely be trying this out tonight when I read. And oh my gosh, look at these like heart-shaped melts for Valentine's Day. It's actually Valentine's Day today, so that is perfect. And then she has like bookish themed melts. So the thriller one is patchouli and amber. And then the horror one is cedarwood, clove, and orange. Also, she included, look at this, blind date with a book, but it's like a wax melt. Let's open it and see what it is. Oh my gosh, y'all, look at this. Unreliable narrator, smoked vanilla, amber, and basil. Oh, this sounds the best. So if you want to check any of these out, I will link Burn While Reading down below. Thank you so much for sending this stuff over. Obviously, this is not sponsored in any way. She literally just reached out and asked me if she could send some stuff, and I'm very grateful. I'm so glad that she did. Yeah, if y'all want to check them out, I will link it down below. Hello vlog. I have showered and gotten ready for the rest of my work day, but I wanted to stop and update you before I went to the park. I am a little over halfway through Jackal. I also changed out my bookmark. This is so cute. I love the little tassel. It says, read what you want, breathe what you burn. So I didn't know this about the wax melts, but they're actually better for dogs, cats, and humans to breathe in than traditional candles, or definitely incense. So that's cool. I also am very excited for my little tassel to hang down here. The white with the white words, I don't know, it's just like, it's working for me. It's aesthetically pleasing. Also, I'm really loving Jackal. This just feels so much more like a story that I'm invested in than the last book that I read for this vlog. I love seeing the case through our main character's lens. I have a really clear idea of her lens, and if you're a character-driven reader, I think that's really going to resonate with you. But even if you are not, there are some more like plotty kind of things coming to the forefront. We have the perspective of the killer, which can go either way for me, but it's creating a lot of intrigue in here. I really like it, and it kind of like keeps us on pace with like wanting to find the killer, wanting to know who he is, wanting to not lose the momentum of the mystery, and just kind of lean into our main character's story, because I could definitely see that happening, but it's not because of the killer perspective. And we're also getting perspectives from each of the little black girls that have gone missing and been found dead over the years, which really tugs at my heartstrings. There was one of those chapters that I literally just wanted to cry, hearing about this little girl with like little beads in her hair, just like living her life, and then knowing that by the end of the chapter she was going to be taken. Oh my god, it's really emotional. It captures just the hopelessness that this community is feeling. Just these girls keep going missing, and it's like there's nothing that they can do. The police don't care. Nobody's listening to them. It is so frustrating and so emotional. It's just such a well done thriller. I care so much. I'm not just passively reading for the drama of it all. I am deeply invested. So I'm really loving this book. I'm so happy about it. I wish I didn't have to put it down, but I do. I gotta go to the park. I gotta go to work. And Cameron's working late too, so we really don't have Valentine's Day plans today. Kind of sucks, but we have our belated Valentine's Day plans deadlines tomorrow, so that'll be fun. But tonight it's just work, 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 work. I literally am working till 8:30 p.m. So I will see you after. Hello vlog, it is after work and I am in my little Skims pajamas just reading my book, and it is so good. I am at the 75% mark. I only have like 70 pages left. I am loving this book so much. Like, I don't have any issues. I don't even know what to say. Like, the romance in here is good because it's less like Perfect Little Lives or whatever. I feel bad like constantly comparing those two books. It's just like I do that all the time when I read books back to back that have kind of similar themes and similar structures, but the romance in that book was kind of cringe, and even though the romance in this book is not healthy, it doesn't read as cringe because it kind of lends itself to character development and like us getting to know the patterns and tendencies of our main character. I still am like a little shook about not knowing who the killer is or not being sure. Like, I definitely have my theories, but the suspense is so good that I find myself just being lost in the book and not necessarily thinking really about the mystery. So any like strides that are made there always catch me by surprise. I love it. I'm definitely going to stay up tonight and finish it, and hopefully I will have a full review for you in the morning. Hello vlog, it is the next morning and I have finished Jackal. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little teeny tiny tad disappointed because I totally thought this was gonna be a 5-star, and then as I was finishing it up last night, there were just a couple things. It didn't necessarily like let me down because I think they were actually really good choices for the story, but it just kind of took me out of that everything is perfect 5-star feeling. I did give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars, and honestly I really wanted to give it 5 stars. Like, I was so close to just saying this is definitely a 5-star for a lot of people, so let me just give it 5 stars, but no, I'm gonna be true to me and just give it 4.5. I still think it is such a good book. There were just a couple things that I'm not gonna get really into that took me out of the story a little bit. Obviously, those are spoiler things. I'm not going to say the spoilers, but I will say kind of like the nature of them. So if that bothers you, you can skip over this part. But the first thing was the red herring. Like, I felt like the big red herring throughout the entire book. I was like, oh yeah, like surely that person is not going to be involved. And then that ended up being a big part of the resolution of the story, which I was kind of confused by. I thought I was being eluded the whole time, but turns out it was like pretty obvious in a way, which I do get the commentary there. It's like, yeah, of course it's this person. Ugh, I thought I was in for something a little bit more shocking, and the twist didn't give me what I was looking for. There are also some otherworldly, more like non-human, I guess, like magical realism-esque elements of the story, which I wasn't expecting, and I actually really liked the messaging behind it. I loved the commentary pieces and the metaphor of it. If I just read a horror book based on that metaphor, I would have loved it. I would have given it 5 stars easily. But it's the fact that I was in a thriller, very rooted in reality for the majority of the book, and then that just like came up, that kind of took me out of the story. So I guess kind of be aware of that if you're going into this. I wish I had that level of awareness going into this book. I think maybe it's a flaw of the marketing and the pitching of this book that I would want to know that. Maybe that's just a me preference, but those were the couple things that kind of took me out of like everything is perfect land with this book. It was still so good though. I highly recommend it. Even though there were those moments of like pause for me, I still love the ending of the book. I thought it was so powerful and moving, which you just don't get those strong emotions from every thriller. So I still do think this book is special. I highly recommend it. Moving on to my last book of this little reading vlog, we have You Are Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Bayron. This is a YA horror slasher book. We are following a girl who works at like a haunt place, you know, like a haunted house, but it's more of an experience where she is a scare actor playing the main final girl in what sounds like the like spoofish version of the Friday the 13th movies. And I absolutely love that. I love that there's going to be probably horror movie lore in here. And while she's acting the part of the final girl, one night she becomes the final girl and her fellow scare actors start turning up dead. So she has to evade this killer. And it also says that she is evading the killer and trying to survive the night alongside her girlfriend. So we have queer rep, horror movie tropes, fast pace. I really hope this is everything that it says in the blurb, because if so, I think this is gonna be perfect for me. So I will probably start this after work. I actually have a tattoo appointment after work and I'm getting 6 pieces. A few of them are pretty big, so I'm gonna have a lot of time to just lay there and read. Hopefully I can get a good chunk into this book. I will let you know. Hello vlog, it's the next day. Oh my gosh, our little belated Valentine's was so nice last night. I was barely like reading, barely vlogging, and barely doing anything other than being with Cam. It was so nice. I am so happy. Also, I didn't show you my tattoo, so let me go ahead and do that. I got this tiger. There's a lot of connections in my life to tigers, and I just thought it would look really cool here, and I'm so happy with it. I got another Arctic Monkeys tattoo. If you don't know, this is one of their album covers, actually my favorite album cover. Then I got this book one. Everyone has been asking me, like, will you get any more book tattoos? Girl, here it is. Here's my next one. And I love it. I love that the flowers from this one coordinate with the flowers from my wedding bouquet one. Then over here, I have this. I wanted like a subtle Gemini tattoo, and I think this is so good. Like the 2 faces of the Gemini. Like, I just love it with the little sparkle. This little beach fine line design here is for my grandma. I grew up going to the beach with her, and we had some of our like best bonding moments at the beach. So I have that one. And then I just added another line of text to these lyrics that I've had for a while, but I felt like just the first line, it really resonates with me, but it was a little bleak, so I added some more just to like bring in the hopefulness. This is for Love It If We Made It by the 1975, which, listen, this is not for Matty Healy. Understand that right now. This is for the meaning of the song to me personally, and you can actually engage with art with having it be separate from the artist. Actually, I feel that maybe that's a hot take, but that's what I believe. Yeah, I don't know. I do feel modernity has definitely failed us. It's not all it's cracked up to be, but I don't want to just leave it with that. I also, you know, would love it if we made it. I would. I genuinely would. Even though it's bleak a lot of the time, I would really love it if the world made it. So that is my little tattoo tour. Actually, I sat for 5.5 hours getting tattooed yesterday, and I thought I was gonna be able to read. I didn't, but I did get a little bit into You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. I'm about like 3 chapters, so about 40 something pages into this book, and it's really good. It's really fast paced. It's really fun. It's so easy to read. I mean, obviously it's YA, but like it just feels like I'm reading from a friend. Like, it's not cringy YA voice. It's like, honestly, it kind of feels like I'm talking to one of my younger clients. Like, it's very cute and fun and relatable and just an easy, nice read. I'm already sensing the like slasher vibes. There's been a lot of horror movie talk, which I love. It just feels like exactly what I needed. So fun and light. And I will definitely be getting into this one after work. But for now, to the park, going to have sessions. Hopefully I don't see ducks copulating like I did fucking yesterday because that was traumatizing. Hello, vloggity vlog. It is much later after work and I have a little reading update for you. Made it to the 50% mark of You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Hailey Bayron. And this book is really short. I actually didn't realize it. I thought it was like 300 pages. Like, I don't know, it just looks like a YA 300-page book. Most YA horror books are around 300 pages. No, this book is actually 230 pages. So if you're looking for like, I would call that novella length. Like usually I put the cutoff for a novella around the 200-page mark, but because this is YA, the font's really big, the margins are really big, so I would say this is definitely like novella length if you're looking for a quick read. I was at the 50% mark before I knew it, just like reading in between sessions and throughout my work day. It's really good. Again, like nothing deep, but I really like the writing. It's just fun. It's light. I feel like these kids talk like real kids. Like it doesn't feel like how an adult would write kids talking. It feels like how Cameron describes his students talking. So I feel like that's pretty accurate. And even as an adult reading it, like it's not annoying. So we're just about to get into the real slashing of it all. I will probably finish this book up tonight and give you my full review tomorrow morning. Hello vlog, it is the next day and I have finished You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Hailey Bayron. I'm gonna go ahead and give this 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was really what I was wanting. Like it was a good fun time, but there were a couple things that just kind of like held back my enjoyment. I love a little slasher. Y'all know that about me. I love a little slasher. But what I love about the slashing is that it's like fun. It's like campy. Like we spend time with the kills. And that is not really what happened in this book. It was much more about the plotting than the actual like action of it all. We kind of like brushed over a lot of the kills. A lot of them happened off page. They were really, really fast. Honestly, the whole book was really, really fast. And it wasn't as descriptive as I would want it to be, but it definitely wasn't a bad book. Like I said, like I had a really good time with it. I think the representation is great. I think the characters were great. I think it was so, so much fun. I was thinking I was gonna give it a 4-star until we got into that. I did like the like extra elements where it wasn't just like a straightforward guy comes in and does some slashing. There was some like backstory, some meaning in there, some commentary-ish. I don't know. It was just like not your typical slasher, but I wish that had been fleshed out a little bit more. I think this book could have benefited from another 70 or so pages, but for what it is, it was so much fun. Such an easy, fast read. I recommend it if you're a fan of YA slashers, but if you're looking for something that's like standout, best of the best, this is not my favorite slasher of all time. And that is gonna do it for today's vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed and got a couple good recs. Honestly, I didn't read any bad books in this video. I really liked all of them. Even though Perfect Little Lies was just kind of like average, I definitely don't regret the time that I spent reading it. This one was so, so fun, and Jackal I absolutely loved. I highly, highly recommend that book. So let me know down below if you're gonna be reading any of these books, or if you have a favorite horror or thriller book by a Black author. I would love to check it out if I haven't already. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys so, so, so much for watching. Don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!